Hello, and for today's short presentation, I will be reinforcing how high schools should implement better classes for students in helping them succeed in the real world. Some of the first things that we need to look at as to why we need to implement better classes than what we have currently for high school students, especially being they're right on the threshold of leaving uh, behind a certain type of lifestyle to move forth with certain financial decisions. Big responsibility decisions that they're not used to making. So when we look at the current programs in schools today, we can see that only 17 states require high school students to take a course in personal finance. Now, only 17 states out of 50 states, that leaves a lot of students that are going to experience, well, if you give in to a certain percent, not every student will face the same issue in succeeding in life, but out of those 17 states and all the other states that do not have personal finance, even as a class, are probably more subject to more students having financial issues in the future. And I also found too that over half the states don't require high school students to take economics either. So with that in mind, no economics, no personal finance, that's going to leave a lot of what if situations for these students when they get out of high school. And I also found too that studies show that students without a financial education are more likely to have lower credit scores and other financial issues, which also relate to the other financial issues I was speaking of before. From a personal experience, I went to Pleasant Valley High School, and that's in Broadheadsville, PA. And I know the state has a somewhat decent system at getting courses together for students. However, relating to my situation 10 years ago, graduating high school, which is kind of a far time gap in the data that I pulled for this presentation. However, it proves the point that even at that time, and to now, still not having enough in these schools for students, also including my time in high school, um, all we had was an economics course. And it was helpful, but it only gave you the basis, the basic foundation. It didn't give you any of the other key points that you're going to need in solving, let's say, how to mortgage your home or how to file your taxes, et cetera, et cetera. So something else I'd like to bring up too as to why we need to implement better courses in our schools is that once students get out of high school, one of the more common decisions that they'll make is should I or should I not go to college? Currently, $1.56 trillion of debt is related to going to college. I also found that 69% of students take out student loans, and an average of students who graduate from college have an average debt of $29,800. Me personally, I'm probably pushing 25,000 myself. So, me personally, this topic of relaying this message to everyone is important because I'm kind of in the same boat. Also, 31% of young Americans, 18 to 26, agreed that high school did a good job in teaching healthy financial habits. However, that's still only 31%. There's still a large gap that needs to be covered. Whatever financial costs need to be taken, budget costs or legislative procedures, any of that stuff is what every state government needs to start working on. So moving forth to the final point, we know that there's a low percentage of students, experiencing not enough education in this field. And we see other statistics too that current programs in schools today are, weak. So basically what we need to do, I think, is start, like I said before, start with the budget cost, because our future generation is going to need this type of education to help them succeed in life, outside of the textbooks. Financial literacy, which includes classes like budgeting, related to budgeting, saving, debt, investing, any of that sort of thing, that should be one class. And I think another important aspect is taxes, because that all factors into your financial future and how you make decisions in the future, such as going to college or not going to college, opening up a credit card or not opening up a credit card, etc. So I think those two would be two very good classes. I mean, we do have budget for music and art, and I'm not